Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey fellas,
Hey,
how
what's
are
going
we?
on, boys?
We all on, ready to go?
Yep,
Beautiful,
solid as.
beautiful. How was everyone's week?
Yeah, pretty chill like that.
Pretty settled now after the move. All
Oh
good.
yeah, true.
Yeah, very good. Bit of a more quiet weekend on the motorsport front this week. We had
Just the one race.
just had the F1s. It was obviously the sprint weekend. Covering tonight, we've got Brazilian F1, Jimmy,
Yep.
MotoGP paddock rumours and new regulations, Daniel. And we got some superbike testing, and some times out of that were quite interesting.
And a bit of a throw it back. I think we're bringing back this week as well.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Well, the people have been asking for it, so
There. Backed by popular demand.
backed by popular demand. So James has got a awesome throwback that we're going to get to later in the show.
Yeah, surprising one.
So what did you guys think of Brazil? I threw up a few interesting results and weather-wise. I suppose the result wasn't that interesting, but
Nah, I was the only one that picked it though.
Yeah, true.
You guys
Jimmy,
both
well
picked
done.
Mercedes, and they had an absolute horror show.
just to
Horror show's not the word.
just to touch on that, it was it looked like their worst race in a very long time.
Yeah.
It looked horrible, and I've never seen Hamilton not even defending the position there for a while.
yeah,
Well,
just gave up.
They just on those straights, they had nothing.
No
Everyone was
straight line
blown-
speed at
blown
all.
Straight past them.
No grip.
No, yeah, that's right. No grip.
But like Ocon passed him in the Alpine and just didn't even think about moving to the inside to defend it.
I
so.
think Brundle said it was like they were just having a parachute on the end of each car.
Yeah.
Like they just had nothing.
there was some drag issue or something because they had 3 Mercedes cars in front of them, powered cars in front of them. So
Yeah,
because
true.
Alonso, they looked like Aston Martin had their mojo back. Even Stroll was up there, obviously, in qualifying as well. So.
Weren't they talking about how they took away some of their upgrades or something like that? Was that what they were saying, or did I hear that wrong, or something?
I'm not 100% sure.
Getting
That's
back.
news to me, but
Yeah.
if you heard something, that might be the case.
Yeah. Anyway,
I reckon I might know the words to the Dutch national anthem by the end of the season. We're hearing it so much.
yeah, it's like when we were listening to Rossi with the Italian national anthem. Same thing.
Italia.
Italia.
Never gets old. That.
Italia. It's just one word.
It's just-
they just sell their own. They said Italian. Italy the whole time.
Yeah, trust them to.
8:32. I'll remember that.
It's getting to a point in time. It's getting to a point in time in the race where Lando Norris was catching Verstappen and almost passing on the straight, and like you just knew it wasn't going to happen. Like there was no, even if he passed him, he was just going to repass him anyway.
That's right.
There's no excitement there
Yeah.
for the lead. So, and I think
it's long gone.
I think that aspect of it's making a touch boring for the viewer who's obviously not a Verstappen fan. But man, the season's close. Other than that, in the constructors, most importantly. So some changes throughout the weekend. Obviously McLaren and also Aston Martin getting a few points. So that sort of changes that. And we always touch on this as well.
Yeah.
The difference, tens of millions of dollars difference in the constructors championship. So
That's right.
some of those teams, they rely on that prize money.
Well, talking about constructors, it was a blow for Ferrari because you had Leclerc have that hydraulics issue in the formation lap, which was weird. But that apparently happened to Sainz, I think, a few rounds before, or the last rounds.
Yeah, it was interesting. In an
practice.
interview post-race, or not post-race, but post-incident, he was saying that they know what the problem is, but they can't say it on TV. It's obviously an issue with the car. Hydraulic issue, but not specific. And then both the
Alfa
Romeos retired with a similar sounding issue. Not 100% sure, but maybe a precaution because they saw it was about to happen. So
that's true. And it's a spew for Ferrari because they had a shot to, I think, almost jump ahead of Mercedes in constructors because they obviously had a shocker, and then kind of Ferrari almost had the same thing, a shocker as well. It was just Sainz got 6 or something like that.
Yeah.
Held his own.
Well,
But
give us the results for both sprint and race, Daniel. Sorry, we should have touched on that a bit earlier for the guys.
So sprint shootout. This is the qualifying. My apologies. Let me get the other ones up.
you know it's going to be a race because Verstappen's number 1.
Max Verstappen first, Lando second, Sergio Perez third, George Russell fourth, Charles fifth, Yuki sixth, Lewis seventh, Carlos eighth, Danny Rick ninth, and Oscar Piastri 10th.
Yeah.
So that was the results for the sprint.
It just shows you, looking at the sprint versus the main race, where, first of all, qualifying, how important it is to be up there. I mean, you look at Alonso I think he started 16th, 15th or 16th.
I just had that up before.
because him and Ocon had had that
15th.
Had that incident in qualifying.
Yeah.
And he got up to 11th, where in the main race he starts, 4th and finishes 3rd. So it just shows how important qualifying is. It shows how important time management is as well.
He definitely had the pace through the sprint too. He was
Yeah,
flying.
he was. Yeah, it looked they look good. The Aston. I don't know why. I'm not sure about upgrades or what they've done differently this weekend. Obviously, the track suited their car slightly. So, but yeah. Perez looked like he was back to a certain extent
found
as
his
well.
mojo
Yeah,
a little
found
bit.
something.
I can't believe Alonso picked him on the line.
I know. How good was that, though?
Like,
to hear the whole stands are cheering for him, it was crazy.
it's crazy. And yeah, I mean, he finally got him with 2 laps to go, and then he just let it slip.
But it's such an un-Formula One like thing to happen.
I
Normally,
know.
if they just get you, especially in Brazil, it's a tight track, it's hard to pass as it is.
Yeah, it's a good
Once
point.
you pass, you're gone.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I think that it helps because it's probably the longest run to the line in the whole year. It helps at that track because obviously that uphill straight. But yeah, I mean, I never saw that happening. I mean, when he passed him, it's bang, done.
Yeah,
You know?
you would turn your TV off saying, "No, that's the top 3 done."
Yeah.
You know.
So,
But it was awesome for him to fight him off for those handful of laps before that anyway.
Yeah. Shows his experience,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
he just puts the car in the right spot.
Yeah, he's just a dog.
Yeah.
He's still got it.
Oh yeah,
Like,
God yeah.
Shit, yeah.
They've obviously squashed those rumours for Red Bull next year.
They have?
Unfortunately, yeah. Hello Marco actually came out today and said
Oh no, what did he say?
it was Alonso spreading the rumour. Because it's happened before where Alonso's teams actually spread the rumour to get a better contract with their current team.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Which would
though.
happen a lot in sport, I reckon.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean, we touched on it earlier in the year with Lewis
Yeah.
and Ferrari. I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
it's, similar thing.
Yeah, it's
That's
good
a
point.
really similar thing. You're right.
So makes a lot of sense though.
So what do you reckon's going to happen with Red Bull then? Like, is it going to just be Perez for another year?
I'm contradicting myself because last week I had that feeling where Perez was gone.
Yeah.
Ricardo actually had a good weekend other than obviously the incident. So unlucky. Both the Aussies
Yeah.
Yeah,
got rear wing damage, not their fault.
No.
And then they were fighting. He was a lap down and he almost, I think he caught up the pack almost.
I think so.
Which is crazy. I mean, it's a minute, minute 11 laps or whatever it was. So that was interesting. And he actually beat Piastri, I think, in the race as well. So
Yeah, he did.
yeah. So that's interesting. Obviously, the AlphaTauris have had some upgrades and looking better as well. So who knows what's going to happen? I probably think I'm leaning more towards Perez just sticking around now. And I think that the unlucky person in this is probably Liam Lawson, I would say. Because it sounds like he's just going to miss out on a seat again next year. So
Yeah, it'll just kind of stay as is. Yeah, it's probably the bet though now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially with that 4th. Like, I don't know, who knows? Especially with Red Bull, as you always say, they're always so cutthroat, but yeah, I can't see things changing. It'd be great to see Danny Rick up there again, but
yeah, interesting as well. Had only 14 runners finish the race, and two runners were in the pit lane getting damage repaired in the red flag. So it would have only been 12 runners left at the end of the race if there wasn't that red flag, which was interesting.
Yeah.
Which is the least amount in the whole season.
Did you see, so speaking of Danny Rick, his interview afterwards, he was like super emotional, tears in his eyes, talking about the red flag rule and how he's a lap behind.
Lap
And he was just like, he was devastated.
Gutted, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can change everything on the car. They could have actually just left him out. They could have left him, and then also Piastri. They could have just kept circling around, and then they would have caused a red flag. They could have come in, changed the wings, and they would have been fine. But because it was dangerous, they brought them in.
Yeah.
Which I think is a fucking stupid rule.
It is a bit of a
because you're better off leaving them out. It's like the other thing is with tyres. So they're allowed to change the tyre under a red flag condition.
Yeah.
So if you got a puncture, and there's been a big accident, you got a puncture, you're better off just keep circling around.
Limping
with the
around.
puncture until it's a red flag, and then change the tyres. And then so if you put new tyres on, then
it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, because then you can change your tyres anyway when it's a red flag. So it's a real funny one, that. And I'm real on the edge of where that rule should be, because I like the fact they can all change, and it's just a sprint to the end if it's the sprint, and they're all on the equal tyres, equal strategy. But yeah, it just gives people sometimes, and along the years, it's always helped people like the Hamiltons and stuff. It always
falls in the lap.
Yeah, it always seems to fall in their lap. So, which is always interesting.
Yeah. Real unlucky for the 2 Aussies.
Yeah.
But that's just a part of it though, isn't it?
It is. That's motor racing. That's motor racing.
Yeah. You can't control everything, especially that.
But yeah, I mean, nothing much else. The weekend threw up a few interesting things. The big thing was that weather on the qualifying on Saturday. That would follow Friday night. That was.
I got that video up that you sent through to the group chat. This is freaking crazy.
Look at that.
Look how dark it is.
Yeah, it actually went full pitch black in the pit lane and stuff.
Pitch black. Fuck, look at that. That's crazy. Yeah, this is nuts.
It's night.
Like, that's torrential, isn't it?
Mm.
That's crazy, man.
Cool video.
And there's some other footage of... Oh, yeah, Dan's got it up here.
Oh, yeah. They would have been held on by zip ties and hopes and dreams.
Well, I mean, obviously they're permanent grandstands, but you'd assume that they'd just put the covers on for the F1 weekend. Because you'd obviously spend the more money on those covered grandstands, so...
True. It's good to see Formula 1 back to like a traditional track as well.
Yeah, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
Well, I have a theory, and you guys agree with this. I love seeing grass around the track.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Yeah, I don't know what it is for me. If there's grass around the track, it adds a bit more...
Grass and like a real sand trap.
A real sand trap and stuff.
I mean,
I really appreciate that. Like, even like you look at tracks like Albert Park, how it's got the grass. I like that. I really do.
Yeah. Hungary's the same.
Hungary's the same. It's all just a concrete jungle. It just doesn't have that same...
Feel.
Yeah, it has to have. Yeah, it gives it a bit of character.
That's my theory.
Unless you're like a Monaco or something where you got the water. Which is
yeah, that's different again.
But if it's like Circuit of the Americas, it's cool, but it's not Albert Parks or
because that's
Brazil or something
Coda
like
is just all the runoff is all tarmac and stuff. So I don't know. I love that old school tracks.
Yeah,
and the other thing is that track is that track. There's not many other ways you can do the track, where in some new circuits you can change the corner here, the corner there.
Yeah. You can start from a different spot.
That's the circuit.
America's similar.
Yeah. That French circuit.
Magny-Cours?
No, the new one, Paul Ricard.
Oh yeah.
Like there's about fucking 13,000 different ways you can go around that track. So it just has no soul.
GP used to race there back in the day.
Circuit dealer Paul Riccardo.
Yeah, Paul Riccardo. That's what Daniel Ricciardo was named after. Is
no relation
the French
to Daniel.
circuit.
But yeah, I mean that's about it for F1, boys.
What about Machine Gun Kelly on the grid walk and that horrendously awkward interview?
Awkward?
Far out.
I liked it.
Well, what do you mean?
I don't know. It just was funny. Like,
yeah, it's funny.
I actually thought that Martin could have handled that better. Because when he said, "I'll do piano, air guitar," like how funny would it be if Martin did?
It would have been funny if he did it, but the thing that made it awkward is I think Machine Gun Kelly, whatever his name is, made it awkward because he would have these like massively delayed responses. And Martin Brundle was just standing there with his dick in his hands.
Well, I think what made it awkward was the fucking two massive fucking lines that he's probably snorted before.
Yeah, he looked like he was cooked.
Yeah, that's probably what made it.
Yeah, he was cooked, and then they spoke to Bernie Ecclestone afterwards, and he looked cooked as well.
He looked...
Maybe he was doing some...
Jorge Martin set him up.
It is Brazil, bro. It's pretty easy.
Yeah. I reckon he was doing some Shane Mumford slugs.
Yeah, sausage. What was
no season?
Just as you touched on Bernie Ecclestone, what was funny about that interview was he mentioned his tax. He's in court at the moment going because he's tax evasion, and Martin says to him, I don't know the exact words, it's like, "Oh, you've had an expensive month with the tax people this month," like.
And then he was like, "Oh, I just don't agree what he did. He's done a lot of good stuff for the sport, but just don't agree what he's done."
And as Martin said, they wouldn't be where they are today without that guy. So
Bernie Ecclestone, when did he go up to? I know he was there for forever, but when was his last year running?
Well, that's when Liberty Media, the Americans, bought it, and I think that was 2020 possibly.
Is that when they took it over?
Yeah, maybe earlier than that.
Well, was it Bernie Ecclestone's when they first did Drive to Survive? Because wasn't that like 2017, 2018 or something along those lines?
2017.
Okay, a bit earlier. Sorry, yeah. Sorry, I thought it sounded like it was earlier, but anyway, they changed it mid Mercedes era, obviously winning the Mercedes era. So But
4.4 billion.
Big money.
Formula One for 4.4 billion. That's crazy.
Yep.
You know what's even crazier is Twitter got sold for 44 billion.
Did it really?
Yeah. That was the difference.
Jesus. You know what though? F1 wasn't making money back then.
I was going to say, I wonder what it's worth
today.
now.
Yeah, not like it is today.
When was Formula One's last heyday? Obviously, it's living its heyday now.
I just think it was, I mean, heyday-wise, probably early 2000s, I would say.
Yeah, like a Schumacher era.
But nowhere near the amount of money that's there now. Nowhere near.
Well, the Americans are good at, making everything, corporatizing everything and throwing sponsors over everything.
Yeah. Between 2011 and like 2011 to like 2015, it wasn't going too well at all. Like the viewership was down, the crowds were down.
You didn't hear much about it.
They had ugly looking cars.
Yeah.
It was just going the wrong direction. And then Mercedes started dominating. And then it sort of started to change a little bit in the middle of that when Liberty Media bought it, obviously. And then Drive to Survive came out, and then everyone loved watching it again. So.
Yeah, well, they were the really other pioneers, and we see it now everywhere of getting like the backstage kind of interviews of sports people. It is, now they do like the Tour de France, do it, tennis, do it.
Yeah,
everyone.
Yeah, cool down room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right, exactly.
All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because you guys never... sorry, you shouldn't say you guys. I know you're more MotoGP fans than what I am. But they never had a cool-down room conversation.
Till last year or
I think it was last year.
Yeah, because that's the best. That's where you...
That is awesome,
I used to stop the race. Because F1 actually don't do it as much now. I mean, they still do it, but it's not as cool now because there's so much more access.
Yeah.
But I remember sitting there, turning the TV up as loud as I can and hearing what they're saying. And it was really, that was probably the first big insight of what you had.
Well, the thing with MotoGP is they had the interviews that I reckon they're one of the first people to do it. As in, as soon as they go on the Park Ferme, they kind of celebrate for a bit, and then Simon Crafar, whoever's like straight in their face, which is kind of cool. Where back in the day, they would used to like do everything, do the champagne, and then go out the back.
Yeah, like then they cooled off and stuff.
They've cooled off a bit.
That's awesome. They interview them straight after they go off the bike.
Yeah, so that is one kind of cool thing that they do there. But F1 is definitely the pioneer. And it's crazy. I've probably spoken about it before, but when we go on the Albert Park back in, man, it must be 2015, 16, and we'd go on a Friday, and we'd be in a grandstand. It was almost empty, remember?
Empty, yeah.
And now every grandstand was
now
full.
It's sold out.
Yeah,
on a Friday.
Yeah, it's crazy how it works. Like I said, it's just the way that they've marketed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other big thing for me in the history of watching F1 was when the Senna movie came out. In Senna, that was a big moment for me. Like I love the sport, and it like made me even fall in love with it more. Even seeing like them in the driver meetings, that kind of thing. I was like, fuck, that's so cool, because you never really get to see that. And then I think obviously in Australia, Fox Sports taking over, showing all the coverage as well helps.
Or showing all the coverage does help.
Yeah,
but it's just amazing when you actually see some personality get thrown into it. How much it changes it, and that's what a lot of different motorsports need. So
the big thing for Australia is, I think, is probably being KO as well, because people can spend $20 a month and watch it rather than having to get a Foxtel subscription, getting the box, spending $80 a month. It's a lot different. Yeah. So I think that's been a massive thing in the last probably 5 or 6 years, in conjunction with Drive to Survive, because
and accessibility just with the internet now.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
I don't think anyone streams it anymore, do they? Like, do people use illegal streams?
Probably not.
Nah.
Not as much.
You can
probably more for main events like
pay-per-view fights,
UFC fights, and all that kind of stuff.
They are expensive, those pay-per-view fights.
It's like $80 a fight.
Man, I watched a fight of a guy. He was it was off the reflection of his glasses. Because I couldn't be fucked paying for it, and I wasn't gonna pay just to watch the last round.
Yeah. Wait, the camera on himself.
Yeah, and it was the reflection of his glasses, and I was just watching it, and it was like perfect. I wasn't perfect, but like, it was good enough.
Oh my god,
that's crazy.
If I was gonna watch the whole card, then I would pay for it. But it was I was somewhere, and I was like, I'll just watch it.
Yeah. How would you even get to that website?
It was TikTok.
Oh, I was on
TikTok Live. Yeah, heaps of people do it.
Oh, right, okay.
There you go. I didn't even know
and then some people just change, like they just film the TV.
Gotcha.
And then once it gets taken down, they start again.
Yeah, you just find, and you just keep scrolling, and then you just find the next one. There's heaps of people do it.
Yeah.
Because they get money because of the gifts. People paying money. That's why they do it.
Okay, gotcha.
But then you get
they make their money back in 2 minutes.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's actually really smart.
But yeah, the good. Just back on that KO thing. The good thing about it is too, you can go to rewind races like vintage races, like
yep.
You know, you got I think access to the F1 paddock show or whatever they call it, and then even like GP and F1 doing their paddock pass or whatever it's called.
Yep.
Like media pass.
Yeah.
And you get more behind the scenes insight.
It's so much content. Like I watched the Brazilian Grand Prix this morning, and you know I turned it on KO, and it's 5.5 hours.
Yeah.
From start to finish for that one race. It's 5.5 hours.
Yeah.
It's
because and that doesn't include Ted's Notebook either. I think that's just another half an hour show after.
Oh, there you go.
So I think it's 6 hours of coverage.
Fuck, that's a day. That's a day.
Yeah. It's an hour and a half pre-race show. Then there was a half an hour break for the red flag.
I guess that's not crazy though, because you know if it's in Albert Park, you're watching it all day, so it makes sense. It's not crazy, but for us, if it's at 11 o'clock at night, you know,
and the big accident happens, you cook.
Yeah, once there's a red flag, I've spoken about this before. You know, night's over.
Yeah, or the next day's over as well.
Yeah,
fucking hell.
That's the thing. But it was I liked Lando, how he did put up a bit of a battle with Verstappen. Like he really, I guess, you know, maybe he was just toying with him. I don't know. But
caught him lacking a bit.
Yeah, there was something there, which was nice. It wasn't just. It still was just him just running away with it. But
he's not far off. But now Lando, surely.
Oh God, he's the new fucking Aaron Canet, bridesmaid. He's had a few second places this year. So, but yeah, he's doing so well.
Yeah, and I think this weekend he just showed he was that much obviously better than Oscar.
He should be in the Red Bull. That'd
be a good sight to see.
Yeah,
that'd be an interesting pairing.
Yeah, would they want that? Do they just want a Danny Pedrosa? No hate to Danny Pedrosa.
I think so.
As if
but the thing is, this is what happens, and this is what happens with Honda at the moment in MotoGP. Is you've concentrated on one guy, then suddenly he leaves because the bike's not performing, and there you're fucked.
Yeah,
because you've got nobody. You need to have that second rider.
Different though, because in Formula One you can only have, as I think you've touched on before, you can have your 2 Red Bulls and you got your 2 Alpha Tauris, but they have to be different.
Yeah,
you can't. It's not like Ducati, Pramac, VR46 and Grassini.
Yeah, 4 different bikes.
Yeah, that they can all you got Zarco, who's like a test rider almost.
Correct.
You know, so that's the hard thing.
Yep.
But you're right, like you can't have just a Marquez.
You can't bank on one person.
You can't bank on one person.
Because I'm imagining, like, I think Verstappen always threatens this, that he's going to retire at a young age, where he's going to be in that car with Perez in, say, 2 seasons' time and go, nah, I'm done, you know? And now they're stuck with Perez. They've got to sign a brand new driver who's going to be their new superstar. He's going to take a season or 2 to get it into it. You've got to have that second driver ready to go, bang, to take over. So they got to really think about that.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I don't know. Just... Yeah, I reckon a smart play is to keep Perez, but you're just a whipping boy, man. That second driver is you just constantly shat on.
But for someone like him, he's got maybe 2-3 years left.
Yeah, he's getting older now. And what does he do? Does he go somewhere else? He's not going to win a championship.
That's right. May as well be in the best car.
Yeah. No, you're right. 100%.
Yeah.
Him. But it's just, I reckon it's just a hard seat. It's a harder seat than you think.
Always.
But look at Ricciardo. He left thinking, let's go some new opportunities, and
that screwed him.
His career went to the shit for a few years.
Yeah.
Who would have thought he won a race at McLaren, which was luck.
Yeah.
And he did terribly at Alpine. Now he's back at the sister team of AlphaTauri. Like, obviously he's finding his form now, but
that's the hard thing of Formula One, though, is you do have to be in that.
He's lucky to get that seat as well.
Yeah.
Ricciardo's lucky to be in that seat. In all honesty, there's a lot of young kids around. We look at Liam Lawson. You know, and if his personality and that commercial aspect wasn't there, then we might not see him in the car. So
yeah, that's a fair shout. Though I think that's probably what just edges him over the line.
Yeah,
but in saying that, I've seen
a few caps.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of like TikTok videos and all that kind of stuff with Tsunoda and Lawson when he was in the seat, and he's just as funny.
Yeah,
he's just as out there and all that kind of stuff. So,
is it?
And it's hard too.
Do you reckon they're more popular as well? This is going to sound rude as fuck, but do you reckon they're more popular because they're good looking? Seriously, but you know, if you're like Ricardo is loved, but that's only because he's obviously a great driver, but he's a handsome fella.
Yeah.
Same with Charles.
Yeah,
you know,
Hamilton to a certain extent. Yeah.
Verstappen, you know, he's alright.
But Verstappen
looks like Sid the Sloth.
Yeah, he's not a good looking bloke. That's a bad example.
Okay, maybe not him.
Come on, Diego.
But Verstappen's only popular because he's a fucking goat. That's why he's popular.
Yeah.
But he's not as popular though. Like, he is popular to a certain extent, but he's getting booed at some races. Like, people are getting sick.
But they always boo the
winner.
Yeah.
But like, you know, who's a good example like
a gun who's ugly but not popular, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Can you give me one? I don't know if they're a gun, but like, you would know more than me. What about the two Alpine boys?
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about his looks on a fucking podcast.
Yeah, but like, it's you're getting a bit nervous talking about men, are you? A bit insecure about this topic, are you?
I told you not to bring this up. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, going back in the years, like, probably, I don't know, Felipe Massa. I don't know. Rubens, never a world champion though. I'm trying to think of world champions.
Oh, it doesn't have to be a world champion. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, Drive to Survive's brought it out because, like, you know, you see their personalities and like
it's also the chicks as well.
Yeah, well, how many fucking chicks follow it now?
Well,
it's massive.
If you go on, like, I got a few friends that are F1 fans, female friends that are F1 fans, and they're always posting Lando, Carlos, Charles, or Danny Rick. Like,
that's
who it is. And sometimes you might get Gasly.
But Lando's not a good looking bloke though. He's just cute. Like, he's like a little cutie. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what's out of his shell now.
I don't know what's going
through. I cooled down a little bit.
Yeah, but you're right.
They're who you're typically seeing.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes Hamilton.
Yeah.
But that's to the viewer's discretion, I believe. Like,
yeah, if you're into that.
Guys, thanks for listening into the pod. Just a quick one. Jump on our website. I'm going to throw the link down here. Check out all of our new air fresheners, all of our teas, all of our accessories. Keep an eye out on all of our socials for all of our new drops. We've got some really special stuff coming and some really cool guests too. Keep on listening in. Keep on showing us all the love and support. We really appreciate you guys. Back to the pod. Oh, that's that white chicks moment. Like, you said it. I was thinking it.
We're so fucked.
Maybe just time stamp.
No. We're gonna get a viral video eventually.
But yeah, that's the thing.
It's a good point. I'm telling you.
You're probably
it's marketable.
Right.
It's
I
marketable.
was just about to say, you know what it is. Especially look at Ferrari with, I think, is it Boss? Is their like suit sponsor or whatever?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Danny Rick with his own clothing line.
But it's like always been. It's not like it's new for Formula One in a sense. Look at James Hunt.
Yeah.
You know.
Correct.
He won one world title?
Yeah, 1975.
Along those lines, but like he was super marketable.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah, and
Shuey with the shell ads.
Yeah,
and
you know what I mean. Like,
what was interesting that James Hunt rivalry with
Niki Lauda.
was Niki Lauda was an ugly little motherfucker.
Or ugly, and then he got uglier.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
the rat got burnt.
Yeah, he did.
He used to say
they used to call him the little rat. I think. Yeah.
But even like, you know, Prost and all that, like all those guys through that era, you're not going, they're no oil paintings.
No, but
maybe Senna was.
The thing is with those sort of drivers, they were from these countries that are obsessed. Like, you look at the French and the Brazilians, and like they're everything to them. Yeah. So like, especially the Brazilians, gods. Yeah, because they're gods. They're like not looked as gods. Like that's all they have, sort of thing. So it's a bit different.
Well, 30 years since Senna's last win in Brazil, 30th anniversary.
Really, was
this
it?
weekend? Yeah.
I saw Hamilton's helmet.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah. There's a couple of cool helmets getting around.
Yeah.
I think he wore like some like get up on the Friday or something that had Senna airbrushed onto it as well.
Yeah,
which was pretty.
Is it the most iconic helmet of all time? Senna's helmet.
Well, it'd have to be.
I would say so.
Yeah, it'd have to be. It's the most recognisable, I reckon.
Out of any motorsport. Because it stayed the same the whole time. You can't say
a Rossi one because there's so many of them.
Yeah, they changed.
He wore one helmet his whole career.
Yeah, that's probably a fair point.
Yeah, the only person that
Doohan is pretty recognisable.
not over
Senna, but yeah.
Yes, Doohan is for sure. Schumacher's, the red.
Yeah, but if we put a fit photo of that up and you showed it anyone, they'd be like that. The answers wouldn't be yes, that's Michael Schumacher versus if you put a Senna helmet up, everyone would be like that's Senna's helmet.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to be Senna's.
Well, did you see? I think you sent it to me, or I sent it to someone. The new Alpine Stars helmet. They painted it in Ayrton Senna's colour.
Oh, fuck it!
Mind you, this is the one of 200. It's already a limited edition helmet, and they've sprayed over it into Ayrton Senna's. I'll see if I can quickly jump it up on Facebook.
Jesus, it looks good.
It looked amazing.
So wait, this is one of one. You're saying
this is one of 200.
One of 200.
It's that launch edition. I think we touched on it a while back.
Yeah, shout out to Danby Daniel, but doesn't he have a custom painted Senna?
I think he's got a couple. He's got a Senna. I think he's got a Hakkinen.
Oh, really?
And maybe a Raikkonen and a Shoe. He did them all himself.
Oh, he does it himself?
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Bandana Man, hit us up, bro.
Yeah, seriously.
I can probably get one off him.
I need a custom painted helmet.
How do I get this up?
That's alright, it's good enough. How good's that look?
Oh, there we go.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, that's a MotoGP helmet though, yeah?
Correct.
Well, you can eventually buy them.
But the F1 helmets, how does it differ?
Yeah, that's a motorcycle helmet.
That's a motorcycle helmet, yeah.
It's got winglets on it.
Yes.
How cool's that?
Wow.
But yeah, that's dope. We'll have to remember to clip this in.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
That's one of one. I like how it's got the Marlboro on it.
Oh, that is a cool helmet, man.
The Senna S.
It has to be the best looking helmet is the Senna. The Studi Moto. Doesn't he do heaps of different people? 20. Oh, he's left a carbon on the back. That's cool.
And I think through the red and the Alpine stars on the side.
Oh, that's fucking sick. On a showy donut.
Yeah.
Ironically, he wore a showy in Senna. When they used to make
probably done tactically.
Yeah.
As like a homage.
Yep. Maybe.
It's my most said word of 2023.
Oh, yeah. That and what are you doing?
Wow.
Yeah, nothing new. Yeah, nothing.
What are you?
But yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, that's cool. It's very cool. We won't talk about Senna and Tom and the helmet that he bought off Facebook Marketplace that never ended up coming and he got scammed out of $40, whatever it was.
Oh, it was 140, I reckon. I fell for the pay ID scam first and last time ever.
That almost crippled him. It almost ruined him.
Yeah, you learn from your mistakes. Let's jump on MotoGP, boys, because you got a couple little regulation changes this year, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Sorry, not this year, but going into future years.
2027, it's looking to be 850cc engines, so down from 1000s.
And is that... I mean, I don't think it's come out with the reason for that. Is that to slow them down?
I believe it is. I think 2027 might be a big change to it.
Yeah.
The two manufacturers that I was reading that were opposed was Aprilia.
Yeah.
Because they put so much work into the 1000 and KTM. The others weren't
too phased.
Yeah, well, Ducati has already ran 800s before. Won a title on them.
I just don't like... this is what I don't like, okay? I'm not a motorcycle... I don't ride a motorcycle, as you guys know. It scares shit out of me. But can you buy a performance bike that's 850 cc's?
No. You can buy the KTM 890 Duke. It's a naked bike.
And the closest is like a 765.
Yeah. So
yeah,
when I go out and when David Shaw goes out and buys his Panigale SP fucking special edition 1000cc bike, in his brain he's thinking, this is as close to a MotoGP bike I can get. That's not going to exist now.
Well, they still did it. They still did it back in 08, though.
I don't know. I just don't like it.
I get what you're saying.
I just don't like it.
So the bikes need to slow down, and it's 100% non-synthetic fuels.
So they're probably helping with emissions as well.
Yeah, they'll use in 2027.
So they're not going to go to a non-synthetic...
This 100% non-fossil synthetic fuels and biofuels.
Oh, so
that MotoGP will use in 2027.
Will use, sorry. So he said non-synthetic fuels. So they're going to have synthetic fuels.
Yeah.
That will, as we know, if people watch the podcast, that's where we think the future's going to go, especially in motor racing.
Yeah.
Emissions, I suppose that's probably a good point.
So when
but motorcycles don't use that much fuel though. How much would they use for a race? Like, how big's the tank in a MotoGP bike?
They go through the whole tank.
They'll go through a tank. Well, how many times have you seen Miller pick someone up or tow someone back? And
there's nothing. They're on fumes going
back
to that.
But how big's the tank, I'm saying?
Oh, fuck, I don't know. I'd be completely guessing.
Remember watching that race where they were, I think it was
22 litres.
Yeah, it's 1/5 of the amount the F1s use. Yeah, I don't know.
So, yes. You know, it was funny. When they were on the 800s, the racing wasn't that great.
No.
But...
Don't fuck with it, though. Like, don't fuck with it.
If they're going to fuck with it, they need to fuck off the aero, but it's to slow them down. But they say this all the time. There's always something that puts in that, you know, they either go to 800s or back to 1000s. They'll be back to 1000s again. Oh, they need that. They need that. Honda needs the 800s next year so they can develop a new bike.
Yeah.
Because it's going to put it back on level playing field again. It'll be.
I think that's why they're not opposed. Them and Yamaha.
No way. Yeah, they'll love that. You know.
I'm surprised
they'll throw. You know who's going to throw the most money? It'll be Honda and KTM.
I suppose Honda and Yamaha have had the success through that era now.
Yeah.
So for them, it's almost they've been there, they've done that, they know that. It's just about getting their aero sorted.
Yeah, and there might be new changes to that.
I was going to say if they keep going the way they're going.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if they strip it back, you'll see the rise of the Japanese manufacturers again.
Wonder what that happens to like Moto 2. Like the engine capacity is going to be what 100cc difference.
Yeah, but it's so different.
It's completely different. You're talking a triple versus a 4.
Yeah, I know, but as I said, as a watcher of the sport, like these are the things you think about.
Yeah, 100%. I think they'll still be able to extract the power. You might see slightly slower speeds. You're not going to see a dramatic drop in top speed and anything like that.
But remember, we've spoken about this as well. Like, as long as the racing's good, does it matter that they're 2 seconds a lap slower?
No, we don't care.
You know, so it's all about the racing. And then the other thing is that Bridgestone's making a bid to come back to MotoGP, take over from Michelin, which is pretty standard. I would love to have tyre wars, but the whole reason these tyre guys go in is just develop tyres to sell.
Yeah,
that's why you see the supercourses.
Yep.
So successful because they've been in World Supers for so long.
Correct.
And then Bridgestone developed for 10 years, whatever it was, 15 years, and then Michelin's done the same. So it's all just development for them. And obviously it's great sponsorship and everything like that. You know, MotoGP boys use fucking Michelin's. All right, we'll go out and buy a set of Michelin's.
100%. And that's something that I think about. And like you look at Pirelli in F1 is if someone goes, oh, do you want Pirelli or Michelin's? I go, oh, I'll put Pirelli's on my car because I'm an F1 fan. Yeah. Even though I wouldn't even look at what's better, you know.
Yeah, it's a great point, and it's so true. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do that, but they'll probably just if they throw the most money in it. I think Michelin hasn't. They've had a lot of issues, Michelin and MotoGP, with tyre degradation and just what to use. Bloody French, that's what it is. Unorganised, the French. Not like the Bridgestone Japanese, but you got the total line.
I think it's a very fine line because you have to have a tyre that degrades, but not too much. But you still want the racing to be good. You want them to push hard on the tyre, but then it's a very fine line.
Yeah, it is.
It's interesting.
It's hard to make it work.
I wonder what would happen if we just said build a tyre that will last 100 laps, and send them out, and then go full throttle the whole time. Like, would the result change? I think Miller would go better.
Might probably win a title.
Yeah.
It could go one of two ways. You'd either win or still find a way to cook it.
But the other thing is, you'll have a Jorge Martin who maybe will just go out in a 30-second lead and then not come back.
Yeah. Well,
but if you're designing a tyre that's going to last that long, you got to build heat into it.
Yeah.
It's not like you can just go out and crank laps on it.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, is what I think it's counterproductive of the aero. So if the aero... The whole point of not having heaps of tyre life is so they bunch them still together, and then they have that cat and mouse, and then you got the last 5 laps have got some tyre life left. Yeah, away we go. But they can't do that because they're stuck behind each rider, so it's just counterintuitive.
Yeah,
it's either you're gonna pick one or the other.
Yeah, it's true.
Go one way or the
strip
other way.
strip the area back, but then have high tyre deck or other way around.
Yeah, so that's
a good point, Jim.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah. I seen a post about aero the other day, and people saying how they love it. love the look. It is a prototype bike.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the photo. Probably it was comparing the KDM. So from when it first got released to when Polar Spargro was on it, and then a latest photo of Miller or Binder. I don't know. I'd still take the aero off. I still think the bikes look nicer. Stripped, no aero, or minimal aero like Suzuki and Honda ran for years.
Yeah, minimal aero is alright. Like I loved it when the wings came in, but now it's
way too much.
It's over the top like that. I think the Ducati looks like pus. To be honest, I don't think it looks good.
And which is a shame. The fins on the tailpipes and shit. Like that's just stupid. Like, they're putting them on just so there's more swirling air behind them and stuff. Like it's not helping the bike's performance. No, that's crazy. Like. That kind of shit's there.
The little wing on the KDM on the back. It sucks. It looks dumb. I don't like it. And it's understandable because it helps their road bikes, and that's half the reason why they do it again.
Let them have one wing on each side of the bike. That's it. You're allowed one aero.
There's need regulations.
Yeah. There is regulations, though.
Yeah.
You're only allowed...
but it needs to be harsher.
I think so, yeah.
It's rough on Ducati because, to be devil's advocate, like, they've developed it. Kudos to them.
Yeah.
And then they, this is their time. Which, realistically, they probably should have... Even Casey Stoner came out and said they probably should have won a few more titles earlier.
Yeah.
But how they treat... Who was saying that? One of you guys was saying that.
Yeah, that goes back to rider management.
Yeah.
Their rider management was poor for years.
Yeah. So they had the bike there. But...
Well, they had it with Dovizioso against Marquez for a couple of years as well.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Yeah, that's right. It's just a hard one to go up against him, but...
but Dobby gave a good shot that.
Man, he did.
Yeah.
100%. So he took him all the way to Valencia one year.
I swear to God, that was
a good year, though.
To me, that was like a really good racing back then.
It was great. It was the best. It was the heyday. I remember saying this is the heyday of MotoGP. Even though, you had the one winner, which is probably the greatest, but every race was incredible.
Because 2019 is a great example. And I think Marquez was on every podium, first or second or whatever. But it was a good year of racing. Yeah. So not good for Daniel, but
sad face only.
Yeah.
No, but that's where we've seen the rise of Quartararo through 2019 as well.
Yeah, Yamaha was still
still strong.
I still remember Quartararo. I think it was in Assen when him and Marquez were going at it, and I think Quartararo was on the. Was he on the Tech? What was he on the?
The Petronas
Yamaha. Yeah, and I remember him getting like that tank slapper through that little corner after the hairpin. So that's a real that was a rise of him throughout that year as well, as you just said. So.
Well, they Quartararo put a funny post up on Instagram about 2019 vibes when they were battling it out.
Yeah.
And then it was obviously the reverse way around of him in front of Marquez.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a bit funny.
Yeah, that's true.
And it just shows, they were fighting at the front on a non-factory Yamaha.
I know.
Satellite Yamaha, Repsol Honda, and then now they're fighting for 11th and 12th. Like, it's crazy what a few years does.
Yeah, that's fucking... It's cooked.
Like we always say, we would have ever thought we wouldn't see Yamaha
especially
and
a Repsol.
Honda in top 5.
I know.
Speaking of Repsol, though, Furman Aldeguer being linked to the seat. What's going on there, Daniel?
That's interesting. I'm a massive fan. I love the way he goes about it, but I just don't know. I don't think he's quite ready yet.
Do you know
Still young.
Do you know what it is? And I said this to Daniel.
Great point.
It's because he's Spanish.
Yeah.
They got Didja, but he's Daniel's type, Italian. He's all hands.
Yeah.
But it's just because he's Spanish. Repsol, obviously, a Spanish team now. It's more Spanish than Japanese, that team.
100%. I think it's tough. Honda's got to look at it.
But Honda came out and said, we want an established rider.
Yeah, they did.
Which is Didja.
Well, is it though?
Yeah, but it's more than...
He's had years in GP.
More than Aldeguer.
Yeah, this is what I was going to say. At least he's had time in GP.
Yeah, is that 2 years?
Yeah, and he's coming off the best manufacturer on the grid.
Yeah. You take Digia's performance in Australia out of the equation. He's done nothing else.
No, not really. He put it on pole last year in Italy, and that was it.
Yeah.
So he hasn't lit it on fire.
But I would still rather him than Furman.
You're just starting backwards again.
Take Ducati secrets, though. Your point.
Yeah. So, he could potentially be great at building a bike. You don't know this.
You don't know. And this is the other thing is that he might have knowledge for those sort of things, and that in-house chatter they might have
because they all share data.
Yeah,
the Dukes.
Yeah, it's free reign.
Yeah,
but surely Repsol just have to have a stupid play at Acosta 2024. Sorry, 25.
Well,
yeah. So I feel like
stupid money.
Whoever's taking this seat If it's De Gea, it's a 1-year deal.
Well, they've apparently, this is the Italian media, it was a 2-year deal they offered Furman.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
And then...
So that takes him out of the loop of everyone else.
Yeah, but then you might get...
But Mir's up at the end of it next year.
Yeah, you might get rid of Mir then. So that's interesting.
God, it's hard.
It's a tough one. Like, you can still... I had this conversation with someone the other day. You can still build a bike around Mir.
Yeah.
This is the thing.
Yeah,
we get it, forgotten championship or whatever you want to call it. The guy's got, like... The guy does have skill.
Legit.
Yeah.
He's legit.
Remember going back to Moto 3 days at Phillip Island into Honda, like, he was a jet.
Yeah. You know, he was...
But he crashes too much, though.
Well, that's the bike.
But that's the thing you ask, is that the bike, though?
That's the bike. That bike's a fucking pig.
Good point, though, because he did have a terrible year last year, and he ended up in the gravel a lot.
Yeah.
As well, on the Honda. On the Suzuki, sorry.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, he did. He did.
You know, it's tough from that point, but I think you can still build the bike around him.
Yeah.
And have him as your number one rider.
Because you had a look at the end of the last season, you looked at Rins had success on that bike, won the last 2 races, Phillip Island, Valencia.
Yeah, last 2 out of 3 or 4, whatever
2
it
out
was.
of 3. And then Mir was...
Nowhere.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of Mir at all, as in going forward. I think he's not... He was a gun in the lighter weight class. Yes, he had that lucky call at win 2020, but...
God, that's a big call, Tom.
Yeah, I just don't see him as a front runner rider.
Well, I mean, like I said, if he's up at the end of next year, then anything can happen. He gets booted. You, like you said, make the play for Acosta.
Yeah.
Open the door for Marquez to come back. You know what I mean? Who knows what can happen?
It's so crazy is how big this team is. Like,
and they're struggling to find someone.
They're struggling to find someone, but they're still like all the talk.
Yeah.
They get more talked about than Ducati almost.
It's crazy to think. Well, they approached Marini.
Yeah.
From what I've read.
Yeah.
And he said he'll just wait on an opportunity for a factory team if it comes about. Which is fair enough. Like, why would you want to leave a performing Ducati to go there?
Yeah.
Unless you're forced out.
Yeah, and he's a pretty pivotal time of his career as well. Like, you can't, if you go to like Honda and it's not performing, you're finishing 20th. Your career might be done, you know. So
100%, and he's just starting to find more rhythm.
Yeah.
So just stay in the lane.
Is Marini's contract up next year?
Probably, I would say so.
If he has a stinker of a year, do you reckon they'll boot him?
I don't think anyone will go to pick him up. You got too many guys that are pushing from Moto 2.
It's a hard one because like he has showed promise, Marini, but he hasn't been as consistent as Bez.
Yeah.
You know, he'll have those sprint races where he gets that third or whatever or seconds, but he doesn't look like he's got like the strong pace like a
I
Bez.
think he builds into it a lot more, probably thinks about it a bit more rather than throwing it all at, you know, like a Bez or like a Martin, or just throw it all at Binder.
I'll look this up. Where is he in the championship?
I would be surprised if he's outside the top 10.
He won't. Nah.
I would say he'd have to be top 7.
I reckon he's 8th or 7th. 8th.
There you go. Okay.
8th with 1 podium.
In America.
There you go.
A couple sprint podiums.
Yeah, so he's 8th. So
yeah,
he's behind Maverick Vinales.
Right.
Which is surprising.
Well, Maverick had that run of a couple podiums.
Yeah, but fuck, it's Maverick Vinales.
Yeah, but yeah, it's
don't defend him, Daniel.
Poor Mav. But yeah, look, Honda's in a tough spot. Whichever way they go, it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy for them.
Nah, they're going to just have to suck it up, aren't they?
You either go for a spot filler or for the future.
Well, I think the spot filler is going to be the case.
I think so.
But they should. But man, Zarco would have been perfect for that.
He knocked the back.
I know. Develop the bike. You know.
Well, he's going to do that in the LCR.
He'll do it for LCR anyway.
And he gets 2 years and big money. Why is he going to take 1 year?
Yeah, why would you? Less pressure as well.
Yeah, just for some colours.
You look at the names next year. There's realistically probably only Taka Nakagami who doesn't have the ability to score a podium. Like even Raul and
no, I wouldn't put Raul Fernandez in there, dude.
He's probably he hasn't probably shown as much as
bro. But Danny Pedrosa's on 32 points and Raul Fernandez is on 40. Danny Pedrosa scored more points than Juan Mir this year.
Yeah,
bruh.
That's Honda's biggest mistake right there. Is letting him go to KTM.
Yep.
Look what he's done for that bike.
I know, fuck. We're taking all the good things from Honda, really, to KTM.
And who would have ever thought that partnership would have ended?
I know. Spanish as well.
Yeah.
Another Spanish mafia.
So
yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Another thing, talks of another USA track in a MotoGP calendar.
Okay.
Yeah, at Flat Rock Motorsports Park. Let's Google what that is.
That'd probably be good for the sport. I wonder what they'll take off the calendar.
I reckon that MotoGP's like it's always 10 years behind Formula One.
But aren't they going back to Brazil next year as well?
They're going to a lot of places.
Kazakhstan as well.
Yeah, I think Finland.
Yeah, Kimi Ring or whatever it's called. Is that what it's called?
Just gives Kimi Räikkönen.
Yeah.
I think it is something like that. Yeah.
Bottas Ring.
I think it's in Tennessee. I think TN means Tennessee.
You got the only 10 I see.
Is that how you got the Mosses?
Riz.
Is that what you said?
Riz
I mean, they need to get rid of Argentina. That's a shit track.
Nah, it's
a good track.
That's always good racing.
Nah,
That's a crazy
too
call.
far to travel.
Poor Argentinians. Good meat.
Yeah, good meat.
Good meat down there.
I like that track.
Aragon's back next season.
A lot of front pages there, Mark.
No, Aragon back next season.
Yeah.
That'll
be good. I like that.
Yeah.
Fuck. Hated it when it first came in.
Yeah, same.
Watched a few races like, oh yeah, this is a pretty good track. And play the game.
Bro, 22 rounds next season, but what are they taking out?
What do you got?
Well, it comes in. So what comes in is Qatar goes back to first, and then Kazakhstan and Aragon come in. But there was more than 20 races this year, wasn't there? Or was there only 20 races?
Let's get it up.
I don't know, man.
There was only 20 races. My apologies.
Okay, there you go.
So there's going to be 22 races next year, which is a lot. Even in the paddock down at Phillip Island, we were listening into Troy Bayliss and Johnny Hopkins talking. They're like, fuck, we haven't been home in 2 months.
Yeah, true.
Like they said, like we have not been home. Like it's just the longest, triple headers after triple headers. They what 6 races in 7 weeks?
Yeah, it's
crazy.
Like
that was crazy.
Those flyways, man. Well, I see some of the riders like Alicia Spargo and Martin. They're just like chilling in Bali.
Yeah,
for a week or two
before
they go to Malaysia. Yeah, which is obviously this weekend. Speaking of Malaysia, Bautista, how's he going to
go? Top 7.
Top 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. And that's a good shout.
But and you know what? If he finishes top 7, I think it's an amazing effort as well.
Yeah,
like it's not expected.
And a stacked field.
Yeah,
very stacked
field of Ducatis as well.
Yeah,
got to remember there's fucking 8 Ducatis there, so he's got to finish.
I think he'll do okay in the sprint race.
Yeah, that'd probably suit him. To be honest,
very much so suit him.
He can light up those tyres.
What's the difference, Daniel? Technically wise, what's the difference between a superbike and a MotoGP bike?
Well, superbike's a bike us three can go to Ducati tomorrow and buy. A GP bike is a prototype. It's like an F1 car. You can't.
Yeah.
There's like
get some of the parts. Yeah, nothing's the same.
Yeah, right.
It's
okay.
not,
so it's going to be still a big adjustment for him.
It's like a Ferrari car you can buy and a Formula 1 Ferrari.
But
yeah, it's 2 different things.
Ah, wow, really that big a difference.
So essentially, if you go, say you go to Yamaha tomorrow, buy an R1M.
Yeah.
You could just about, like you're going to spend mega dollars on it. Yeah. But you could just about get it to World Superbike spec.
Right.
Like.
So different forks, different.
Yeah, you can go.
Chassis the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's certain rules that you can't change. I don't think you can do a lot of engine work in a World Superbike.
Because you look at KTM have a full carbon chassis now. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's crazy.
I think Honda trialled it at the start of the year as well.
Yeah, wasn't that
mid-season?
The Calyx chassis, or was that a different?
Different
that was different again.
Right, okay.
But yeah, so Superbikes, I think you've got to try and keep the engine as sort of stock as possible.
Yeah.
You can do certain stuff to it.
Yeah.
You can do suspension work. I think you can do swing arm work. Obviously, electronics and all that kind of stuff. Braking,
I think
exhaust.
They dumbed down the electronics now because I think for a little bit it was getting out of hand where it was too expensive to even enter into superbikes for like privateer teams.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot. Now you find there's a lot more back in.
Yeah, that's all right.
Like Go 11, Barney Racing, Moto Corsa Ducati.
Shit, he knows it. He can rattle them off, Tom.
He's good.
Privateer World Superbike.
That's why we got him.
Yeah.
But you know what's the other... I know this is off topic slightly, but I don't remember the last time... Like, there's 3 MotoGP races left and there's only 2 F1 races. Normally, I don't remember there being nearly as many as 20 MotoGP races in a season.
I think it's the most this year.
It's good for the sport, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a good sign for the sport.
Really good
Feels
sign.
long, but it has felt long.
Good, but it's good.
Yeah.
Get them going. Get them on a few more races. They'll be right. Marquez is on 20 mil.
He'll be right to go again.
Yeah, Alicia Spargo's flying in his private jet.
Okay, so if we go...
Don't feel sorry
if
for
we go to
Daniel.
10 years ago, now we're about to go to James's throwback, so let's go throwback to 2013 just quickly. There were... there's still 18 races on the grid. So there you go.
Just CRT bikes.
So, Daniel, you just want to quickly touch on Superbike testing?
So Superbike testing, we've seen Johnny Ray and a lot of other guys on new bikes. So Johnny Ray on Yamaha, which to me still looks very foreign.
Yeah.
Rinaldi onto Motocorsa Ducati. We've seen Andrea Iannone back as well, and Axel Bassani moved to Superbike factory Kawasaki in the Superbikes.
Daniel, what's Scott Redding riding these days?
He's now on the satellite BMW.
Oh, yes.
So with these rule changes, it might play into his favour. So they've added 7 kilos to Bautista's bike to meet these new requirements and stuff like that. So it is going to be a lot different.
Is the BMW any good though? I thought it was a bit of a bucket.
It is, but with this new revamp, it might, like I said, fall into its lap and play a big part in results to come. I think we'll see it a lot closer, which will be good. But shout out Remy Gardner, top the timesheets both days.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's really good.
On the GYTA Yamaha. We've seen Nicolo Bulliga as well. Wasn't far off qualifying pace for the racing ref as well.
Yeah.
So he's up from Supersport 600.
V2 to the V4.
So
that's awesome.
And I think a couple of the GP boys were there.
What, just watching?
Pirro. Testing. And Savadori.
Who's 8th?
It's BV bike. Must be like a test bike.
I think that must be
that's an unusual name.
There's a couple of
It's an automated bike that just rides around testing.
But wait, there's no name to it? Like, okay.
Yeah, not sure.
Is it like a
They do that with some
AI bike or something?
They do that with the Japanese test drivers sometimes as well.
Oh, really?
I'm not like joking, yeah. They don't deserve a name.
That's crazy.
They don't meet the 105% rule.
Well, you did it right. Fucking hell.
Who?
It was 8th. Whoever SBB bike was. Now, Jimmy, come on. I've been waiting for this all day. I want you to throw it back for us.
I'm throwing it back. Boys, 2013 Dutch TT.
Wow.
Now, our listeners will probably remember this, but I actually forgot a lot about this race. And the whole reason why I actually wanted to bring it up was because of Jorge Lorenzo's, probably, in my opinion, the best effort for a MotoGP race I've ever seen. I don't know if you guys will remember, but the race was held on Saturday. So with Assen, it was traditional that you had free practice Thursday, qualifying Friday, and race Saturday. This was only up until like 2015 or something.
Yep.
Because it was you go to church on Sunday, so they wouldn't race on Sunday.
Yep.
So Jorge Lorenzo, if we can get the clip up. Do you remember the crash, John?
I do. Coming out of the second last corner?
Maybe just a bit before the second last corner. Onto the back straight. Yeah. There he is there, going bang, straight on. It actually doesn't... It's a big crash, but...
That's quick.
It doesn't... Yeah, it is.
So it's
quick.
Coming out of that little hairpin where you
going onto the back straight.
You run it wide. Yeah.
Or like that back straight.
Well, that's... What's his name on the left, isn't it?
I think so.
No arrow, look at that.
Yeah, beautiful. This is what haunted Jorge for the rest of his career in the rain. Couldn't hack it. So
I'd actually love to rewatch this whole race.
Yeah, you can.
Maybe we can do it right now.
Oh, imagine that. Strap yourself in, listeners. 45 minutes of us not talking.
Us going, oh.
So this is Marc Marquez's first year, 2013. There's all the old Rossi crew. Stefan Bradl was there. So this is all the CRT bikes as well.
Yeah.
So our boy Brian Starring was racing.
Pod favourite.
A pod favourite. And the Golden Fun Honda. Bautista was there. Depunier. Yeah.
Bradley Smith.
Yeah. Nicky Hayden on the Duke. Dovizioso on the Duke. So it was kind of that start of the new era of Ducatis as well. I think it might have been the first year, to be honest. I'm pretty sure it was 2013. And then Rossi's first win back as a Yamaha rider after his terrible time on Ducati. So as you can see, it's 90,000 people there for the day.
That's
big
cool.
Crowd, man. It's always a big one.
Carl Crutchlow.
Yeah, Crutchlow's he got pole.
Yeah, so obviously it was a wet qualifying as well.
Yeah, it was. It was. That's good. But yeah, it's a crazy race. I'll let you guys watch that first because Tom can't watch and talk at the same time.
Yeah, sorry, I'm actually... It's amazing that was 10 years ago, you know?
Yeah.
Man, the legend.
So, Lorenzo snaps his collarbone.
Yep.
Flies to Spain, Barcelona, on the Thursday night, gets the procedure done, and then he goes and qualifies Friday. Races Saturday.
We qualified.
Well, you have to qualify for the race.
Yeah. Did you just go out and pot around, or did he do a lap?
He got... Tell me, I wrote this down. He qualified 12th.
Jeez, that's amazing.
And the race...
There was no Q1 or Q2 back then, was it? It was just an hour qualifying session?
Like 45 minutes, whatever it is. So, qualifying 12th. Look, it's obviously it's amazing, but I would say there's probably not even 15 full MotoGP prototypes in that field.
Okay.
The rest of them are CRTs. But to go to 5th was pretty fucking incredible.
It would have been in a lot of pain.
How close was it at the end of the season, or did... It was only like 4 points difference, wasn't it, or something like that?
Yep.
What, 4 points?
330 to 334.
Jeez, that's crazy. So it all went down to Valencia. Jorge won the race. Is that when Marquez ran wide on the first turn? That's that later years, isn't it?
No, that's later years. So this 13 is obviously when Marquez won on his rookie year.
Marquez got disqualified because he didn't pit.
Yeah.
Right. And so Lorenzo won the last 3 races of the year. Jesus.
Yeah, he did too.
That's crazy.
So
didn't start the next race at Sachsenring. That's forgotten about, isn't it?
Yeah, that is forgotten about. There you go. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, so
that 5th is pretty fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Plus, with that with Rossi, I forgot, because I always thought about Lorenzo, that was his first win back from the Ducati days. Because I now thinking about it, I remember him going, fuck, that's a pretty amazing weekend, to be honest. And then, you got Marc Marquez in there. I think he got seconds in his rookie year. And Cal Crutchlow, I think, got 3rd. So, yeah, just...
There you go. That was awesome.
Yeah, just a different one. So, it's those CRT years, like, man, you got... Oh, another thing is you had... what was it? Ivan Silva replacing Hiroshi Oyama, who lost a bit of his finger in Catalonia.
Oh...
So, and Michele Pirro was replacing Ben Spies, who was having ongoing chest pains. I didn't even know of ever since the American rounds.
Okay. Yoni Hernandez, remember him?
Yeah, that was your boy.
Yeah, I love Yoni. He was good.
On the Pramac, wasn't he?
Yeah. No, he was on the Paul Bird Motorsport bike.
Oh, okay. He was.
That would have been a CRT bike, obviously.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it's a bit rough, man. Those CRTs were dogs, but I guess they were just needed for... Oh, MotoGP was in a world of hurt, obviously, at that time.
They were struggling.
Because you had Rossi nowhere in 2012. You had, obviously, Casey Stoner leaving. Did he leave in 2012? Yeah.
End of 2012, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're right. Actually, Marquez probably saved the sport, to be honest with you. Injecting that young talent in there.
Rossi back to Yamaha probably saved the sport. Let's not give him too much credit, Tom.
James?
I agree with you, Tom.
Oh my God! What's going on?
I wholeheartedly agree with you. Nah, it's a bit of both, surely. It was the rivalry.
It was.
Yeah.
10 factory bikes in that field.
Yeah.
10. There's 24 that raced.
Yep.
And there was 10 on that field. So, pretty shit house. Good on to Alicia Spargo though, 8th on the CRT. Beat both factory Ducatis and a Tech 3 Yamaha.
And 2 Pramac.
Bro, that's crazy.
Sorry, 12. There's 12.
That's crazy. Because I think he finished like 8th in the championship or something as well, from reading from it before. So maybe not at 11th, sorry.
Still pretty good on
which is ahead of Iannone, Pirro.
Terrible motorcycle.
Pirro was maybe it's not that good of an achievement looking at the results, but
well, he won the CRT championship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Convincingly.
So yeah, there you go. But just a bit of a throwback, and it's interesting to see how much the sport probably was, not looking great. To be honest, like you're right though. Rossi would have been the main person keeping that sport alive, with all the fans packing in just to see him.
Yeah,
100%.
General interest of him just going back to Yamaha.
Yeah,
and then obviously Marquez coming in, doing his thing, and remember he was loved in 2013.
Of course he was.
And then the rivalry, which was the best thing that ever happened to that sport, injected all of it.
Yeah, it really popped it off even more, didn't it?
Yeah,
it was definitely what the sport needed.
Fuck yeah, 100%. Otherwise, if they didn't have that, then who knows? It'd still be there, it just wouldn't be as good.
It'd almost be like World Superbikes.
Yeah. Tom?
Yeah.
Not much?
No comment.
Yeah, you can't say much after your earlier comments.
No, I can't.
He's shell shocked. Look, he's shell shocked. I've never seen anything like it.
Well, thanks, boys. Anything to...
Yeah, tips.
Yeah, tips.
He always tries to wrap us up.
Well, we're going for an hour and a half. We're yabbering on about who the best looking guys are in the F1 grid.
Stop digging yourself a hole, Mop.
Go tips. I want to hear from you because this is the toughest tipping day of the year, I reckon.
Malaysia. Fuck, I can't even think, man. I'm gonna go Jorge Martin because he was fastest by a mile last year. He just binned it.
Yep.
I'm going to go Pecco Bagnaia seconds. And I'm going to go... Can I see the grid? I need to see the grid. Fuck.
What grid?
Like, who's racing?
Everyone's racing.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, but I can't think of fucking names.
Well, you got, like...
Binder, Maverick,
Spargo, Bastianini coming back.
I'll go Bezzecchi, third.
Ugh.
Tom?
I had the exact same top 3.
Well, you're just chasing glory, aren't
No,
you?
actually, I'm going to go Bezzecchi second.
Okay.
So I'm going to have Martin, Bezzecchi, and then Bagnaia.
Pecco, Binder, and Bez.
Where's
Martin? Binning it.
Again?
Bin chicken.
Is this going to be a turn? Oh, is this the turn in Daniel's championship? Because he reckons someone's going to win
before Valencia. No,
is this the turn?
Which I wholeheartedly disagree with.
So Bags is going to win the title.
I think so.
That is a podcast. You got to say something.
Yeah. I said I think so. Yeah, I don't know. I hope so. But either way, if Martin wins, I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, go
but
Martin.
I think it'll be back to back. Again, I just can't see Ducati letting it happen.
Think of that gold Alpine Stars World Championship
without looking at the screen or your computers. What did CRT stand for?
Controlled Racing Technology. Controlled Racing Team.
Crappy racing team?
Claiming rules teams.
All right, let's wrap it up there, boys.
See you, fellas.
See you guys.